How's it going? Today we got another job on the go. It's a loader bucket. So we're into rebushing these, and this one isn't so bad, but this one here, she's beat right out. So we'll have to cut that off, put a new one of those on, rework these bad boys. Pins seem to be okay, except for that one there. We'll do something with those. And we have a bent stop on this one. So we're gonna get another piece of material and build a new stop for that as well. They dropped that off this morning and actually helped me get the loader arms off so that we can work on it. I'm gonna measure up and get a material list and hopefully get that today. Alright, we started in on this big massy tractor we got out there to do the loader arm rebuild on. Most of it's going to be just getting some stock cut up. Once we get that accomplished, we'll start boring it out. Alright, we got the burrs off of it, and now we're just going to get into clamping it down into the mill here. We need to drill 2 holes either side of this. So we're going to get those measurements and set it in here and get some holes in it. Right on, well there you go. 2 through holes, and that will take the place of that, which looks a lot straighter. 1 done. So that was hanging out up there for a while. Now we're going to get into facing off these rod ends and boring them out. Got about 3 mil to take off of that. Now that we've drilled most of the material out, we're going to bore it to size for the new pins that we're going to install. These wear spacers are going to get faced off, get a chamfer on them. Then we're going to drill them out and weld them to the side of the pivot bracket. That are going to add extra support for the pins that we're going to manufacture for that as well. Alright, we're dialed on center, so we're just going to center drill and drill these out. We have 2 of them to do. Alright, we got our 2 lock collars. We'll clean the burrs off of those. Now we get into machining the pivot bushings for the main brackets on the ends of the rams. Alright, so we've got some parts and pieces made here. Now we have to go out and separate the rod from the cylinder. So we'll probably bring the cylinder in and go from there. Let's go get that cylinder off. This wind's really picked up out here. There's going to be a bunch of editing here that makes it look like I just walked in and grabbed this and came out and did it. I didn't. Tried to cheat. Man, wind today. Anyway. We got our shaft in here. I won't lie to you. It almost looks bent. Man. I have to look at that. Alright, I gotta take a look at this. I'm pretty sure this is bent. Oh yeah. Big time. Can you see that? Right there. Now you can see it. There you go. So we're going to have to get a hold of the customer and see what he wants to do. This thing's supposed to be in and out. Nothing's open today, and we might not be able to get parts for a few days. Hope. We're just getting ready to tear into this one with the bent shaft and get it tore apart and see what we're working with. Might need some seals, might need some internal work. We don't know yet. So we'll get it tore apart and we'll take a look. So we got it freed up enough to move this back, and then we got to pull this ring in here out. That ring right there. Gotta get that out. Split ring up at the top. There you go. So we'll pop that out, and we should be able to pull everything out. There we go. Now in theory, we should be able to separate that whole thing. In theory. Well, the barrel looks really good on this, so I am not too concerned with that. The seals look pretty good, and I haven't cleaned them off yet, but they seem to look pretty good, so hopefully a little bit of cleaning up here on the edge, and new rod, new shaft.
Well, it's almost spun like there's a lot of print here showing.
Yeah, that was the same with the other one too. Yes, no?
Wow.
The other one was
Which way does it turn? Does it turn?
regular, yeah, left too loose. The other one was way too loose. I kind of figured there was something up with it.
Yeah, it scared me a second.
I saw that. Yeah, that scared me a second, he says.
Now that we scared Sean, we can remove the gland nut, and that will allow us to remove the piston afterwards.
Big difference. There's Loctite in this one. There wasn't Loctite on the other one at all. We got Sean over there turning down the rod ends. We're going to cut this rod end off. I got a parting blade in there. Not ideal, but we're going to make it work. Trying to teach the guy. This is a brand new chuck. Like, I've never beat it or anything, right? Like, I mean, look, all that factory cleanliness. And this guy comes and says, "Oh, I touched your chuck." Like, Sean, just destroying it. Probably sparks flying off it and everything, wasn't there?
A few sparks.
Yeah, just a few, yeah.
I'd say a rotation or two.
I've leveled the rod to the saw. That will maintain a nice straight cut, which will allow me to take off minimal material when I go to face it on the lathe. Now that we faced it off, we're going to center drill, and tap the end for a stud. That stud's going to hold the rod end on the end perfectly for us while we weld it later.
Alright, so we have our stud in here, and this should thread onto there. Okay, so we got that done, so now we're just going to machine some pins and then we can get everything welded up and get it all together. Okay, so we're going to make new pins and then we have to add these onto the sides like so. We'll add another 1.5 inches because those are 3/4. So 3.8, 1.5 inches, 5.3. We'll probably make them 5 3/8 so that they stick out a little per side. So we're going to use 4140 and turn it down to 30 mil and make 2 of them. Okay, so I'm going to set these up in the lathe here. I'm going to keep it above 20 thou, 10 thou per side, and then I'm going to stick them on the small lathe and do my final cut on those.
Here I'm drilling the hole in the bolt in order to lock it in place once it's installed in the tractor.
We're going to weld the rod end onto the rod now, so I'm going to take it and we'll get that done. Get that one step closer. I'm going to run the ground clamp on the rod end itself. That way I'm not going to affect the chrome, or I don't want to clamp it to the table either, because then it could transfer through the chrome and leave a spot where it could potentially pit. So that's the idea behind that. I'm going to resharpen my tungsten and we'll fill that in. pretty good with that. Okay, we got this all clamped up. I'm going to throw on a jacket and we're going to weld that up.
With the welding done, now we can get right into assembling some parts. These are the pivot bushings that were machined earlier. We're going to install them on both sides now. Right after that, we get into installing the main brackets. And then after the main brackets, we get into installing the rams.
Twist it this way. Nice. Oh, good. Yeah. You get it?
No, with black spot turtles.
Man. Yep, there it is. I know I didn't do that. Yeah, something. So let's start with. What's she looking like, Sean? You get that flattened thread cleaned up?
Coming.
Oh, did you get her started?
Yeah.
Nightmare. Way better. Way better.
This was a long job and we covered a lot of different things, from the welding to the machining, cylinder rebuilds, disassembly, reassembly. Really appreciate you holding on this long if you're still watching. And until next time, see you later, Buzzy.